Are you have a PhonePe Pulse data? Do you want to get complete data insights and exploration? This is for you. Hi, this is Gopinath. Our project aims to create a user-friendly Streamlit application and to collect the data from PhonePe Pulse GitHub repository and the unstructured data convert into a structured data frame and migrate it to SQL database, and finally to get complete data insights and exploration by using Plotly. First, we need to know about three important things. First one is SQL, second one is Streamlit, and last one is Plotly. First one is SQL. It stands for Structured Query Language, and it designs to store structured data in table format. And also it helps us to managing relational databases. Second one is Streamlit. Streamlit is a user-friendly UI framework, and it helps us to create a wide range of applications and also managing application development at effortless. That's why I love Streamlit. And the final one is Plotly. Plotly is a powerful data visualization library, and it helps us to create a interactive chart, graph, and dashboards. It is the user interface of Streamlit application. We give totally 5 options to the users. First one is data collect from PhonePe Pulse GitHub repository. Second one is the complete overview about the collected data. Third one is the unstructured JSON data convert into a structured data frame and it's migrate to SQL database. And the fourth one is complete data insights and exploration. And the final one is exiting the application. Before data collection, we need to verify our local directory. So this is my local directory and there is no folder name like PhonePe Pulse Git. And this is PhonePe Pulse GitHub repository, and the data folder have all the data in JSON format. Now go to Streamlit application and select the first option, data collection. Now it's processing and the data cloned from PhonePe Pulse GitHub repository to our local directory. Now successfully data cloned from PhonePe Pulse GitHub repository. Let's check it. Open my folder and yeah, PhonePe Pulse Git data successfully cloned to my local directory. Now go to Streamlit application. We need to know about complete overview about the collected data. So you select this second option, data overview. And here you will get the complete overview about the collected data. First, the key dimensions are state, year, and quarter. In state, it includes all the states in India in year 2018 to 2023. In quarter, all the years are split into 4 different quarters. Next, in this data, divided into 6 different categories. First one is aggregated transaction. It's nothing but the transaction data broken down by payment types at state level. The payment types listed below. First one is recharge and bill payments. Second one is peer-to-peer payment. It means bank-to-bank transfer. Third one is merchant payments. It means to pay the bill by using credit card, debit card or others. Fourth one is financial services and final one is other payments. The second category is aggregated user. Here the user's data broken down by brand devices at state level. The all brands are listed at below. The third category is map transaction. Here the total number of transactions and the transaction amount at the state and district level. The fourth category is map user. Here the total number of registered users and app opened by the registered users at state and district level. The fifth category is top transaction. Here the transaction data explore at the top 10 states, districts and pin codes at the selected year quarter combination. And the final category is top user. Here the registered users data explore at the top 10 states, districts, pin codes at the selected year quarter combination. The next option is migrating data to SQL database. First, we need to create a database in SQL. In this project, I use two PostgreSQL. So open my PostgreSQL and write a query, create database PhonePe, and execute the query. Now successfully the database created. Just refresh the databases. New database created. Click to PhonePe, open schemas and expand tables. The SQL database is currently empty. Now go to Streamlit and select the option Migrating data to SQL database. Now it's processing and the unstructured data converted into a structured data frame and migrated to SQL database. Now the data successfully migrated to SQL database. Now open to PostgreSQL and refresh the table. Totally 8 tables are created. First one is aggregated transaction. Just right click and select view data. It have a data of state, year, quarter, transaction type, transaction count and transaction amount. The second table is aggregated user. It have a data of state, year, quarter, user brand, user count and user percentage. The next table is map transaction. It have a data of state, year, quarter, district, transaction count and transaction amount. The next table is map user. It have a data of state, year, quarter, district, registered user and app opens. The next table is top transaction district. It have a data of state, year, quarter, district, transaction count and transaction amount. The next table is top transaction pin code. It have a data of state, year, quarter, pin code, transaction count and transaction amount. The next table is top user district. It have a data of state, year, quarter, district and registered user. The final table is top user pin code. It have a data of state, year, quarter, pin code and registered user. Next, go to Streamlit and select the option Data Insights and Exploration. Here you will get the 7 different options. First one is state, second one is year, third one is quarter, fourth one is district, fifth one is transaction type, sixth one is user brand and last one is top 10. First, I select the option state. In this analysis, split into two different types. One is transaction and another one is users. In transaction, it's split into two types. One is transaction count and another one is transaction amount. The first map is state-wise transaction count. The right side color bar indicates green and light green are highest transaction. Orange and red color are lowest transaction and yellow color is the average transaction. In this geomap, we can easily identify which other states are highest, lowest and average transaction based on the color. If you hover the mouse cursor on the state, the hover indicates state name and transaction count. For example, in Maharashtra, the transaction count is 14.3 billion. If you want to know about state-based transaction amount, you select the another option, transaction amount. The color bar indicates the transaction amount. In this analysis, you will get the complete data insights and exploration about the particular state. For example, I select the state Tamil Nadu. The bar chart visualizes the year-wise transaction count and transaction amount. In 2018, totally 54.95 million transactions happened and 104.02 billion amount to be transferred. Next, the donut chart visualizes the quarter-wise transaction count and transaction amount. In quarter 1, the transaction count is 998.3 million and the transaction amount is 1.66 trillion. You have an option to filter the data. For example, I select the Q1 and you will get the transaction count and transaction amount of remaining quarters. So you can easily compare with any quarters and get the insights. The next line chart visualizes the type-wise transaction count and transaction amount. In merchant payments, the transaction count is 1.72 billion and the transaction amount is 927.3 billion. The next line chart visualizes the combination of year and quarter wise transaction count and transaction amount. So you can easily compare the year with quarters. The next line chart visualizes the year and transaction type wise transaction count and transaction amount. And the final chart is combination of quarter and type wise transaction count and transaction amount. If you want to in-depth analysis, you can select the option advanced filters. You have two options. One is year and another one is quarter. For example, I want to analyze the data of Tamil Nadu in 2022. So I can select the year 2022. I got the quarter-wise transaction count and transaction amount. Type-wise transaction count and transaction amount. And finally, combination of quarter and type-wise transaction count and transaction amount. Next, if I want to Tamil Nadu data in 2022 quarter 2. I got the type-wise transaction count and transaction amount of selected year and quarter combination. Suppose if I want to analyze the data of Tamil Nadu in quarter 2, all the year-wise transaction count and transaction amount of quarter 2, type-wise transaction count and transaction amount, and combination of year and type-wise transaction count and transaction amount. So all the data related with quarter 2 in Tamil Nadu. Now we have completed the data insights and exploration at state-wise transaction. Now select the another option, users. Here you can visualize the data of state-wise user count, state-wise registered users, state-wise app opens from the registered users. Next, you can select the state for in-depth analysis. For example, I select the state Tamil Nadu. I got the data of quarter-wise user count and year-wise user count, brand-wise user count, quarter-wise user count of all the years, and next year-wise registered users and app opens. Next, quarter-wise registered users and app opens. And next, quarter-wise registered users and app opens for all the years. Now I want to in-depth analysis of Tamil Nadu. I can select the advanced filters. We have two options. One is year and another one is quarter. For example, I want to analyze the data of Tamil Nadu in 2021. I got the data of quarter-wise user count, brand-wise user count, brand-wise user count in each quarter, quarter-wise registered users and app opens. So all the data related about Tamil Nadu in 2021. Now I want to analyze the data of Tamil Nadu in 2021 quarter 1. Now I got the data of brand-wise user count. Now I want to analyze the data of Tamil Nadu in quarter 1. I got the data of year-wise user count, brand-wise user count, brand-wise user count in all the years, year-wise registered users and app opens. Now we have completed the data insights and exploration of state. Now I select the next option, year. Year also split into transaction and users. In transaction, we got the data of year-wise transaction count and transaction amount, quarter-wise transaction count and transaction amount of all the years, type-wise transaction count and transaction amount of all the years. Next, I want to analyze the data of particular year. For example, I select the year 2022. I got the data of state-wise transaction count and state-wise transaction amount. Next, quarter-wise transaction count and transaction amount. Next, type-wise transaction count and transaction amount. Next, type-wise transaction count and transaction amount of all the quarters. Now we have completed the data insights and exploration of 2022. Next, I want to in-depth analysis in 2022. I select the option of advanced filters. Here I have two options. First one is state and another one is quarter. For example, I want to analyze the data of 2022 in Maharashtra. I got the quarter-wise transaction count and transaction amount. Next, type-wise transaction count and transaction amount. And type-wise transaction count and transaction amount of all the quarters. Suppose if I want to analyze the data of 2022 quarter 1 at Maharashtra, we got the data of type-wise transaction count and transaction amount. Next, I want to analyze the data of 2022 in quarter 1. I got the data of state-wise transaction count and state-wise transaction amount. Next, type-wise transaction count and transaction amount. Now we have completed the data insights and exploration of transaction. Next, I select the option of users. First, I got the data of year-wise user count. Next, quarter-wise user count on all the years. Next, year-wise registered users and app opens. Next, quarter-wise registered users and app opens at all the years. Next, I select the particular year for analysis. For example, I select the year of 2021. I got the data of state-wise user count, state-wise registered users and state-wise app opens. And next quarter-wise user count, brand-wise user count, next brand-wise user count on all quarters, and next quarter-wise registered users and app opens. Next, I want to in-depth analysis of 2021. I select the option of advanced filters. I have two options. One is state and another one is quarter. For example, I want to analyze the data of 2021 in Maharashtra. First, I got the quarter-wise user count, and next brand-wise user count, and next brand-wise user count in all quarters, and finally quarter-wise registered users and app opens. Suppose I want to analyze in 2021 quarter 1. I got the data of brand-wise user count. Suppose I want to analyze the data of 2021 in quarter 1. I got the data of state-wise user count, state-wise registered users, and state-wise app opens from the registered users. And next, brand-wise user count. Now we have completed the data insights and exploration of year. Next, I select the option of quarter. Quarter also split into transaction and users. In transaction, first we got the data of quarter-wise transaction count and transaction amount. Quarter-wise transaction count and transaction amount of all the years. Type-wise transaction count and transaction amount of all the quarters. Next, we have to analyze and get the data insights and exploration about this particular quarter. For example, I select the quarter 2. First, we got the data of state-wise transaction count and state-wise transaction amount. Next, year-wise transaction count and transaction amount. Next, type-wise transaction count and transaction amount. And finally, type-wise transaction count and transaction amount at all the years. Next, if I want to in-depth analysis, I can select the option advanced filters. Here we have two options. One is state and another one is year. For example, I want to analyze the data of quarter 2 in Tamil Nadu. I got the data of year-wise transaction count and transaction amount, type-wise transaction count and transaction amount, and finally type-wise transaction count and transaction amount of all the years. Suppose I want to the data of in quarter 2 Tamil Nadu at 2021. I got the data of type-wise transaction count and transaction amount. Next, if I want to the data of quarter 2 in 2021. I got the data of state-wise transaction count and transaction amount. Next, type-wise transaction count and transaction amount. These data are based on the quarter 2 in 2021. Next, I select the option of users. First, I got the data of quarter-wise user count. Next, quarter-wise user count in all the years. And next, quarter-wise registered users and app opens. Next, quarter-wise registered users and app opens for all the years. Next, you can select the quarter to get data insights and exploration. For example, I select the quarter 3. First, I got the data of state-wise user count, state-wise registered users, and state-wise app opens. Next, year-wise user count, brand-wise user count. Next, brand-wise user count in all the years. And finally, year-wise registered users and app opens. Next, if you want to deep analysis, you select the option of advanced filters. Here we have the two options, one is state and another one is year. For example, I want to the data of quarter 3 in Tamil Nadu. We got the data of year-wise user count. Next, brand-wise user count. Next, brand-wise user count in all the years. And finally, year-wise registered users and app opens. Suppose I want to the data of quarter 3 in Tamil Nadu at 2020. I got the data of brand-wise user count. Next, I want to the data of quarter 3 in 2020. I got the data of state-wise user count, state-wise registered users, and state-wise app opens. And finally, brand-wise user count. Now we have completed the data insights and the exploration of quarter. Next, I select the option of district. District also split into transaction and users. In transactions, we have the options of state, year, and quarter. For example, I want to the data of Tamil Nadu. Now I got the data of district-wise transaction count and transaction amount of Tamil Nadu. The total number of districts are 37. And formatted value column help us to easily read the transaction count and transaction amount to the users. Next, if I want to the district-wise transaction data in Tamil Nadu at 2021. We got the data of district-wise transaction count and transaction amount of Tamil Nadu in 2021. Suppose I want to the data of Tamil Nadu in 2021, quarter 3. I got the data of district-wise transaction count and transaction amount. Next, I want to the data of Tamil Nadu at quarter 3. We got the data of district-wise transaction count and transaction amount. Next, I select the option of users. For example, I select the state Tamil Nadu. We got the data of district-wise registered users and app opens. Next, I want to the data of Tamil Nadu in 2021. Now we got the data of district-wise registered users and app opens. Next, I want to the data of Tamil Nadu at 2021 in quarter 3. Now we got the data of district-wise registered users and app opens. And next I want to the data of Tamil Nadu at Q3. Now we got the data of district wise registered users and the app opens. Now we have completed the data insights and exploration of districts. Next I select the option of transaction type. Here we got the data of type-wise transaction count and transaction amount. Next, type-wise transaction count and transaction amount of all the years. Next, type-wise transaction count and transaction amount of all the quarters. Next, you can analyze about the particular transaction type. For example, I choose the transaction type of peer-to-peer payments. First, we got the data of state-wise transaction count and state-wise transaction amount. And next, year-wise transaction count and transaction amount. And next, quarter-wise transaction count and transaction amount. And finally, quarter-wise transaction count and transaction amount of all the years. Next, if you want to in-depth analysis of peer-to-peer payments, just select the option Advanced Filters. Here we have the options of state, year and quarter. For example, I want to the data of Tamil Nadu. We got the data of year-wise transaction count and transaction amount. And next, quarter-wise transaction count and transaction amount. And next, quarter-wise transaction count and transaction amount of all the years. Suppose I want to the data of 2021. We got the data of state-wise transaction count and state-wise transaction amount. And next, quarter-wise transaction count and transaction amount. Suppose I want to the data of peer-to-peer payments in Q2. We got the data of state-wise transaction count and state-wise transaction amount. And next, year-wise transaction count and transaction amount. Suppose I want to the data of Tamil Nadu in 2022. We got the data of quarter-wise transaction count and transaction amount. Suppose I want to the data of Tamil Nadu in Q1. We got the data of year-wise transaction count and transaction amount. And next I want to the data of in 2019 at Q1. We got the data of state-wise transaction count and state-wise transaction amount. Now we have completed the data insights and exploration of transaction type. Next, I select the option of user brand. Here we got the data of brand-wise user count. And next, brand-wise user count at all the years. And next, brand-wise user count at all the quarters. And here you will get the data insights and exploration of particular brand. For example, I want to the data of Apple. First, we got the data of state-wise user count. And next, year-wise user count. And next, quarter-wise user count. And next, quarter-wise user count on all the years. Next, if you want to in-depth analysis of Apple, just select the option Advanced Filters. Here you will get the three options. One is state, second one is year, and third one is quarter. First, I want to the data of Tamil Nadu. Here we got the data of year-wise user count and quarter-wise user count. And next, quarter-wise user count at all the years. Suppose I want to the data of 2021. Here we got the data of state-wise user count and next quarter-wise user count. Suppose I want to the data of quarter 1. We got the data of state-wise user count and next year-wise user count. Next, I want to the data of Apple brand in Tamil Nadu at 2021. Here we got the data of quarter-wise user count. Suppose I want to the data of Apple brand in Tamil Nadu at quarter 2. Here we got the data of year-wise user count. And next I want to the data of Apple brand in 2021 quarter 2. We got the data of state-based user count. Now we have completed the data insights and exploration of user brand. Next, I select the option of top 10. It is also splitted into transaction and users. In transactions, you can select the any year and quarter combination. For example, I select the year 2020 in quarter 3. Here we got the data of top 10 states based on the transaction amount. If we move to the cursor on the bars, you can see the transaction count and average transaction value of the particular state. Next, I select the option district. Here we got the data of top 10 districts based on the transaction amount. In this bar chart, all the districts with state names. So users can easily identify the state name of the districts. Next, if you want to know about top 10 districts of particular state. For example, I select the state Tamil Nadu. Now we got the top 10 districts of Tamil Nadu based on the transaction amount. Next, I select the option of Pincodes. Here we got the data of top 10 Pincodes based on the transaction amount. In this bar chart, all the Pincodes with district and state names. Next, if you want to top 10 Pincodes on the particular state. For example, I select the state Tamil Nadu. Now we got the data of top 10 Pincodes in Tamil Nadu. Next, I select the option of users. Here also we can select the year and quarter. Here we got the data of top 10 states based on the user count. Next, I select the option of district. Here we got the data of top 10 districts with state names based on the user count. Suppose if you want to know about top 10 districts of particular state, for example, I select the state Tamil Nadu. Now we got the data of top 10 districts in Tamil Nadu based on the user count. Next, I select the option of pin codes. Here we got the data of top 10 pin codes with district and state names based on the user count. Suppose if you want to the data of top 10 pin codes at particular state. For example, I select the state of Tamil Nadu. Now we got the top 10 pin codes with district names in Tamil Nadu based on the user count. Now we have completed the data insights and exploration of top 10 state, districts and pin codes. In the description, you will find the GitHub link. Clicking on it lead to the project page where you can access the Python source file and the detailed description of the project. If you like the project, click the star button. It will motivate for me. And next, if you want to exiting the application, you can select the option exit. Now successfully you are exiting the application. And I hope all of you enjoyed this video. And if you like, click thumbs up button, comment and share. And don't forget to follow Gopinath Ashokan. Thanks for watching.